Can Zeke deke again? It's the coach. This is the 2020 season on EA Sports. Coming up, Ezekiel Elliott, fresh off 100 yards a week ago, as it'll be the Washington Redskins taking on the Dallas Cowboys. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Just a gorgeous fall afternoon in the heart of Texas. No weather to speak of. Sun out, roof open. Yes, yes, and yes. A great day for football at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys. Here's the kicker, Aldrich Rosas, ready to get us going. And we are underway from AT&T Stadium. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the inline. So out comes the Redskins offense now onto the field. They're led onto the field by the former Cal Bear and the #1 overall pick in 2016, Jared Goff.
Well, he did go 2-2 in the last ball game. Well, actually, he went 2-2-1, with the one being the victor.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line there. But wasn't it funny at practice? He threw one when we were watching, threw an interception, and the defense got on him a little bit, good-naturedly. But they're letting him know, you got to cut down those interceptions. We can't bail you out all the time.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. But as you said, they got the win in that effort last week.
180.
Now a first carry for Derrick Henry. And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game, as he'll lose yardage to start things out. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Back to throw. Goff. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Hassan Reddick in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him. I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Now it's gone. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. They'll get nothing out of the completion there, and it leads to a 4th down. So unable to get any yardage at all off of the screen there on 3rd down.
And ordinarily on 3rd down, that's when you want to bring pressure. You get all your guys who want to get after the quarterback. But how about the patience they showed? Read the play, snuffed it out, and made a nice stop.
A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. First down, Bridgewater. And the grab by Croft. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. And we look at this offense now, and Zach Martin will be important for this team today.
He's so good, Brandon, that you can play him at any position in the offensive line, and I think he's a Pro Bowl player at each spot.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7.
He's coming. Double up, double up. He's coming, double up. Shift.
Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
To throw is Bridgewater. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. And he will bring this one back. It's a pick six for a Redskins touchdown. They were in the dime. They had 6 defensive backs there. So go ahead and throw it. He threw it, and it hurt it.
It's almost thrown into a blanket of coverage, isn't it? You talk about the best defenders you have are the defensive backs. 6 of them on the field. You're almost asking for trouble, and that's exactly what they ran into. Ended up throwing a pick six.
Yeah, 6 defenders and 6 points. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This one taken just inside the 10. They find some open field here. And he will score. Touchdown, Cowboys. He goes 91 yards on the kick return as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge it. Kick it to him. The way he runs, as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And here come the Redskins now. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. And here a look at the offensive starters for the Redskins.
DeAndre Hopkins was named All-Pro for the first time in 2017, and really don't have to do much but look at the statistics to know why. 4 touchdown grabs in 2016, jumped that up to 13 in 2017. That led all NFL receivers. Also added in 96 catches and close to 1,400 yards. DeAndre Hopkins' ability to get free in the secondary is a marvel, mainly because of head fakes and body control.
A great return there of 22 yards. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right?
Touchdown, Cowboys! Ezekiel Elliott, his 6th touchdown of the season, and the Cowboys have taken the lead. Seeing some pretty good offense here in this first quarter.
It's been a wild start to this quarter, as you noted, and now with that lead that we're seeing, can they retaliate? I get the sense this one's going to go back and forth all game long.
And that probably won't be the last long touchdown that we see in this one. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take.
And Henry's hit. He lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home, the next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
This will be fielded at the 17. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Zeke and the Cowboys ready to begin their next drive. And you see his numbers from a week ago. He was up over 100 yards then, and he's already hit pay dirt here once in this one.
We always talk about quarterbacks and receivers getting into rhythm, right? Really feeling good, finding each other downfield. I think running backs operate the same way. They can hit a good rhythm and a good stride, and he's carrying it over from last week.
Give him 10 there, good enough for a Cowboy 1st down. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Cowboys in possession as they've got it 2nd and 7. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. Naeem Hines, his first carry. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
I got it. 55's Mike, guys.
On third down, Bridgewater. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed, if there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. They're able to find Dorsett. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Give them 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first.
I remember in pregame when we were talking to him on the field, and he took his gloves off and showed us his fingers. A few misshapen ones in there, and now we know why, trying to catch those types of bullets.
That was a dart. Yeah, even for a talented receiver, those are tough to hang on to.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Throwing is Bridgewater. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
Bridgewater to throw forward on 4th. He's going to air it out for Dorsett, and that is going to be incomplete. The Cowboys here unable to convert on 4th down. And the Redskins defense going to take over on the turnover on downs. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any 4th down stop is a big momentum play.
A carry now for McKissick. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Now a play fake, and it's gone. Rush coming, and he's taken down. And keep your eye on that man. 4 sacks last week, 1 there here in the second quarter. He can be so disruptive.
So what was he doing in the first quarter? What was going on?
Took a nap. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Minka Fitzpatrick. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 10. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Throwing, Bridgewater. He gets it to Brown. Complete. 14 yards. Good for a Cowboy first down. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch. Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. Bridgewater now. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that. And we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again here on offense. Jared Goff trots back onto the field. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll take this forward for 2, maybe 3. But we do have a flag down, and they're already marching backward. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here are the Cowboys to take over. They were winners last week, defeating the New York Giants. They lead this one as well right now as they come up 1st and 10. Second half starts with a carry by Elliott. He'll have a first down past the 40. Touchdown, Cowboys! Ezekiel Elliott with his second touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
PAT up and good by Rosas. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Well, I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Redskins offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Derrick Henry. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They will run it. It's McKissick. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. So the false start will back them up 5.
False start, offense.
And that'll set them back 5. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. From the gun, here's Gone. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Hassan Reddick in there for the sack, and he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Completes it to Lee. 14 yards, but they're still well shy of a first as that leads to 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
He'll field this at the 5. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Cowboys will be backed up to start the drive. They'll have it 1st and 10. So out come the Cowboys now as their offense gets set to take over. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
They stay on the ground, but this time it's Elliott. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. Bridgewater flush to his right, and he fires one incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. 10th carry now for Elliott. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
It's been a remarkable day at the office for him running the football. Those yards just continue to pile well past 100.
And how about more than double-digit carries in the second half alone? That's what you want as a runner, because you've got to prove to your offensive line that you're going to be as tough as they are. They don't rotate in and out on every play. Running backs often do, so those who can stay out there with their offensive linemen, those are the guys they really value. This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Hines. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Tackle made there by Chidobe Awuzie. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They'll go again to Jones. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
A 1-yard pickup brings up 3rd and 8.
Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. Back now in Arlington. It's the Cowboys with a football. They'll be looking to tack on to their lead as we get set for the 4th. Bridgewater to throw it. And able to find John Brown. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Redskins' 21. First down carry by Elliott. And they'll get this down to the 10. 11 more yards that go around. A first down as well.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Now Elliott. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. Here's 2nd and goal, operating from the 8-yard line.
Go now! Check your hot read. Whip. Watch the whip. Switch. Hey, switch gears.
They'll try the right side with Elliott. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. An 8-yard touchdown run. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. And he keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now. No question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, it's got him in the lead. This fielded at the 2. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Hassan Reddick, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets them back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up.
57, Mike 57. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
3rd and long. It's gone. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
34 yards on the return, but for a moment looked like he had a shot to go all the way. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Vince Beagle leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Mike 55. Drop deep, drop deep. Mike 55. 55, Mike. Got one.
Out of the gun, Bridgewater. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Credit that sack to Dante Fowler Jr.
And it has been a good game for them. They haven't been pressured very much today, but on back-to-back sacks, maybe the defense is starting to figure something out.
Call that an even 50 yards on the punt with 7 on the return. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. Elsewhere, they're on to the 4th quarter of MetLife Stadium. And you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. Jameis Winston, a single touchdown pass to this point in that one. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. How about the safety, Minka Fitzpatrick, swooping in for the sack. They'll run with McKissick. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. The Redskins now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Eric Reed, the former LSU Tiger, making the play on the defensive side. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Oh, I nearly broke that one. As it stands, though, a heck of a 36-yard run back. And that will come the offense as they take over. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And checking the timeouts, they do have 2 defensively, but no real need to use them as they're not going to be able to stop the clock after that. Elliott going to bite off about 7 on that one. A good run on 1st down. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They go back to Elliott. He's been busy. He's got a 1st down and then some inside the 40. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a 1st down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. They'll run with Elliott. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. The Cowboys signal for their third and final timeout. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. He finds Dorsett. It's complete. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And, you know, it wasn't a shutout. They did give up the points in the first quarter, but second, third, and fourth quarter, they held them scoreless.
Brandon, if you throw a shutout for quarters 2, 3, and 4, you're going to win a lot of games in this league. And this felt a lot like, almost like if you say baseball, and the pitcher goes through the lineup the first time and the hitters get to see him, and then they come out after that and the bats start blazing, right? I think they saw their best stuff in the first quarter and just shut everything down from that point on. What a great, convincing performance.
So for the Cowboys,